In addition to delving into the emotional aftermath of Maddie's disappearance, Thursday's episode of 911 sent viewers to El Paso, where Eddie encountered multiple barriers in his attempt to win Christopher's trust. For starters, Eddie's anticipated job with the fire department fell through owing to a hiring freeze, forcing him to become a rideshare driver, and a noisy one at that. He even had to sell in his beloved truck for a more environmentally friendly vehicle, eliciting strong emotions from both Eddie and his portrayer. Ryan Guzman tells TV Line, "I felt so bad for him when I did that scene. I was like, I know how much this truck costs. I understand why he's doing it, and I know it's for a good cause, but I'm not even required to act. This is just terrible." To make matters worse, Eddie kept his true work hidden from Christopher, who discovered the truth in the most awkward way possible. He and a friend landed themselves in the back of Eddie's automobile. Exactly what this relationship needed, more falsehoods. Fortunately, Christopher appeared to be forgiving, or at least accepting, of his father's newest indiscretion, surprised Eddie at his new home and having a mature conversation, and hug, about what had occurred. "We're making some progress," Guzman says about Eddie and Christopher's gradual return to normalcy. "There are still plenty of things that need to be done before Eddie feels like the father he needs to be. And please guys, as you are watching, don't forget to subscribe the channel. Thank you." As his new life in Texas devolved into mayhem, Eddie frequently checked in with Buck, via FaceTime, who encouraged him to stick it out for Christopher's sake rather than returning to the 118 with his tail between his legs. Given how much Buck misses his best friend, telling Eddie to stay must have been difficult, but it also demonstrates maturity. After all, Buck was taught that he would lose if he ever forced Eddie to choose between himself and Christopher. Guzman believes Buck got the message after their most recent altercation. Nothing has ever come between Eddie and his son, save his dead ex-wife, which is strange to say out loud. Buck, being who he is, genuinely wants Eddie to be happy. He understands how much, being Christopher's father, means to Eddie, therefore there will be no returning to LA if Eddie is unable to re-establish himself in Christopher's life. That's his own obstacle, Guzman says of whether Buck has affections for his closest friend. "I suppose I can draw from real life. I've had friends in my life, and I never considered whether they liked me or not, but I've now discovered that they did. And that did create some awkwardness, more for them than for me. That is an internal fight that I would not wish on anyone." Looking ahead to the remainder of Season 8, Guzman promises a lot of growth for Eddie, as well as some setbacks that have him revisiting a version we first introduced Eddie. Overall, he defines Eddie's experience as a push-pull scenario. He'll gain a lot, but he could also lose a lot. Did you enjoy your week with Eddie in Texas? How do you see things going for him in the Lone Star State? Sorry, it's too soon. Whatever is on your mind, leave a comment below. Disconnected delves into the aftermath of the two primary stories that 911 Season 8 has been focusing on since its return from break. Except for a lengthy emergency involving a familiar figure, the episode alternates between Maddie, Jennifer Love Hewitt, returning to work after being kidnapped, and Eddie, Ryan Guzman, adjusting to life in Texas and attempting to re-establish his relationship with Christopher, Gavin McHugh. Both stories have good merits, but Maddie's is an obvious winner. When Maddie was teased about going through another life-threatening ordeal, there was some frustration. The character has already gone through enough sorrow to last a lifetime. Remembering her harsh putting her in danger after a happy pregnancy reveal seemed a bit repetitive, but the conclusion of the kidnapping storyline closes wonderfully and justifies it. I'm not sure if the same could be said about Eddie's departure from the 118. Disconnected begins with Maddie, all smiles, returning to her dispatch desk and answering her first call. Despite the cheerful melody accompanying Maddie as she returns to a familiar cadence, there is something strange about the scene. Sure enough, it turns out to be a nightmare, with Maddie's throat slit. She wakes up, startled and evidently still processing her near-death experience with Amber Brayburn, Abigail Spencer. The next morning, despite revealing to Howard, Kenneth Choi, that she suffers these dreams on a regular basis, Maddie wants to return to work. The two introductory sequences effectively clarify the stakes. The nightmare is short and charming, carved in broad strokes by filmmaker Tessa Blake. Notably in Maddie's, her throat is flowing with blood as her co-workers smile at her. It's also wonderful that Howard believes Maddie's intuition enough not to fight when she says she wants to return to helping people. Nonetheless, her instincts are somewhat off. Maddie speaks with a little boy locked in his apartment after being greeted by Josh, Brian Safi, and Sue, Deborah Christopherson, both of whom appear confused of how to ease their friend back into it. It catches fire following a popcorn-related mistake, and Maddie must guide him through the procedures to safety. Maddie's voice gradually fades. Within a few minutes, her voice is completely gone. Josh takes up the call, and the 118 manages to save the youngster and his father. Maddie has psychogenic aphonia, which is disclosed in a later scene during a doctor's appointment. It is a condition in which voice loss occurs as a result of it. The doctor suggests that Howard and Maddie attempt exercises and vocal rest, especially after hearing what Maddie has gone through. Maddie's moments with Howard and Athena, Angela Bassett, begin to reveal the Brayburn storyline's objective and difference. Unlike Doug, Brian Hallisey, Maddie was able to confront her abusive ex and put a stop to him when he eventually attempted to kill her. Maddie does not. Athena does not answer Maddie's inquiry. She cannot. But when she visits the dispatcher at her house, Athena tries to help Maddie see that she is operating from a place of fear, which is preventing her from completing her job. It could be the best scene in Disconnected, thanks to Maddie and Athena's strong friendship. It's excellent that Athena admits she never suspected Brayburn and is visibly saddened by the truth, but it's even great to see her chatting to Maddie in a regular scenario. Regardless of how large or small a TV cast is, writers tend to become attached to specific scene partners, and variation is rare. 911 is no exception, and tends to have the same closure as Brayburn, typing to Howard, "How do you kill a creature that's already death?" After speaking with Athena, Maddie takes a break from her voice training and heads to the playground with Ji-Yun, Bailey and Haley Leung. While Ji is off playing with some new pals, Maddie takes a quick glance at a text from Athena. When Maddie looks up, Ji is gone. It's a genuinely terrible and tragic scene, as a speechless Maddie attempts to cry for Ji but can't say anything. Finally, Maddie recovers her voice and is able to yell for Ji. It's a great tearjerker of a scene as Maddie reunites with Ji, who is actually playing out of sight. Ji mentions that Maddie can speak again, and Maddie hugs her, relieved.